What's going on? So today I'm going to show you how to get more views, more subscribers, simply by increasing your click-through rate. And if you're not familiar with that, that's just basically getting as many people to click on your videos as possible. And to do that, we're going to be focusing on your thumbnails, how to get your thumbnails as clickable as you can. And this is also somewhat of a request video because I've had quite a few people ask me lately. They noticed I've done something a little bit different with my thumbnails, and I have been using a new system to create my thumbnails. So since people have been asking what I do or how I create my thumbnails, that's what this video is going to be about. And again, the key to getting views, or one of the main keys, is getting that click-through rate as high as possible. And besides your title, making a good title, your thumbnails are key for that. So let's go ahead and check this out. Now this is it, this is inside, this is called the Thumbnail Blaster. So let me go ahead and show you what this does. It does so much, really it's going to be hard to cover it all in this video. I'm just going to show you how I use it, but over here on the left you can actually link YouTube accounts up to it, so you can actually have Thumbnail Blaster analyze your videos, and it will automatically use its artificial intelligence and create a thumbnail for you. It's pretty insane. We have just the general thumbnail creator, which we're going to look at today. Here's the AI image analyzer. That's what I just mentioned, the artificial intelligence. It will do split testing, so it will run multiple thumbnails on your video. It'll alternate them back and forth to see which one is getting the higher click-through rate, and then it will tell you, and then you can go with the one that's the best. And they have a bunch of training videos you can reference as well. But let me again show you how I specifically use this. So right now we're just going to start. I'm not going to use a video. I like to make my own. But if I wanted to, I could just select a video that I had created and it will automatically generate a thumbnail. But I'm going to start with no video, so I'm going to click this. And then here's another option. I could start from scratch, which is a completely blank template. And I could use the Blaster's own assets to create my own thumbnail from scratch. But what I typically do is I just go through here, and they have pre-made thumbnails that you can select through, and then you can just click on it and make some minor changes, and you can change as much as you want. But then all you have to do is click on the thumbnail you like, change the text to whatever you want it to say that fits your video, and then download it, and you're done. And of course we'll scroll through here and you can get an idea of how huge this library is. And again, these are all pre-tested thumbnails. So these are the formatting of these thumbnails, the colors that are used, the images that are used are proven to work. They're proven to get high click-through rates. And this just goes on, and they're always adding to this. And if we go back up to the top here, you can actually select keywords and we'll filter out thumbnails specifically for whatever niche you are interested in. But I'm actually going to grab one and create one live for you here and play around with it so you can see this in action. But really quick, you can actually click on these and preview them, so it'll bring up a larger view of the image so you can see it better. Close this out. Again, all of this stuff is you can edit, so it's not like you can't change anything on here. You can open it up, you can look at it, and then just realize that I can change anything on here. I can just change the text, I can change colors, and I'll actually do that for you here in a second. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how amazing this software is. So let's go ahead and just click on a template. Let's use this one. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and show you how much of this you can change around and play with. So this image, for instance, I could get rid of it. We'll change it to a different image here in a second. I can move it around. I can put a shadow behind it. So I don't know if you can see that drop down there. You can see I'll adjust the shadow a bit so you can see it moving around. I can make it more of a blur. So there's that. I can change the color of anything on here, so we can make that red. I could add a shadow to this red fixture down here. Let's go ahead and you can see the shadow appearing there. I can blur that to make it a little bit less harsh. Move this down a little bit. Can change any of the font here. I can change the text. Let's go ahead and change the color of this. So you can see here, I can make this say or do or look like anything I want. Another interesting feature, cool feature, is these backgrounds. So these are selectable backgrounds you can go through. They have a huge library of everything you see here that you can choose from. And then there's the background itself. And if we go up here, right now it's solid, we can go to gradient. So then let's go to radial. So I'll change the colors around a little bit. So if we make this is going to make the center, I'll move this so you can see it better. The center of the background is going to be light. Then I can put a dark ring around the back. And then we can make the gradient large or small. And then I can move this back up here. And now if I play with the opacity of this background image, you can see it does some different effects to that as well, so that's kind of cool, depending on what type of background image you're working with. And we can just even get rid of this background image altogether. We can just leave that there if we wanted. Let's go ahead and change this out. So let's just delete her, and then we have all these tabs up here, so a ton of different text you can choose from. So if I click on this here, I can open this and select all these different fonts that you can look through. We can go to image. I can upload my own image, or I can use stock images from this platform. I can go to shapes, and we have arrows, we have badges, basic shapes, buttons, cutouts. Cutouts are pretty cool. So there's a ton of these as well. I could put, you know, hands in here doing different things. I can put the shadow behind the hands. And I've actually used a similar hand image on a recent thumbnail I did for my channel, but let's go ahead and again, you can put the shadow in there to make it a little bit more interesting. But they even have some Fortnite images in here. If we go back to shape, let's say we wanted to add a Fortnite image, we can flip this image so that it's facing the opposite way. We can push it to the back so it's behind this little banner down here. We can move it around. I can again put a shadow behind this Fortnite character and give it more of an offset, make it blurred a little bit to make it look more natural. And then the other cool thing is, so with all these customizable colors, I can go up here and I can grab this little selector icon, and let's see, I can make this purple so it matches. So I could make this match. Let's see, let's grab this color right here. And so you can make your thumbnails really look nice because you can match all of the colors, and it just gives it a really nice look overall. And at any point I can just go ahead and save it, and then you can see it saved down here to the bottom, and then it'll save to my desktop. And then let's say I wanted to try, let's see if this would look better black, so click this again, let's make it black, and then I could save another version of it. And so that's how you test thumbnails. I could come on here and make as many different versions of this thumbnail as I wanted, and then test them, and then based on the results I can always be sure that I'm using the greatest thumbnail that I can come up with this version of that thumbnail to get the highest click-through rate. And that's how you get high click-through rates, and that's how you get YouTube to push that content, because if YouTube recognizes that a lot of people are clicking on that thumbnail every time it's shown on its platform, it's going to continue to show around its platform, because it's signaling to YouTube that, hey, this is keeping people on YouTube, they're clicking on this video and watching it, so YouTube wants that to happen, so it's going to do it more. Now I'm going to show you a few more features here really quick, just to give you an idea of how I use it. Now if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description to Thumbnail Blaster, and there's a little demo video right here on its homepage that shows you some of the features or more of the features, and you can check out all of that here as well. Now unfortunately this does cost a little bit of money, but I just did like a one-time payment, and now I use it. I purchased this months and months ago, and I don't have any type of monthly fee, so it's mine to keep and mine to use forever. So yes, unfortunately this does cost a little bit of money, but this is what I use, and this is what people were asking about, so that's why I'm showing you this. Now I can do videos on some different free softwares you can use that aren't nowhere near as powerful as this or as efficient and easy as this. So if you want me to do that, drop a comment below in the video. But again, this video was by request. What do I personally use? This is what I use. So let's go ahead and jump back into the Blaster software, and I'll show you a couple other cool features. So let's just go ahead and get rid of, let me save some text because I'll just leave that there. Just get rid of all of this. I think that's everything. And let's go ahead and just play around with some of the background stuff. So we can go in here, we've got patterns. We can, you know, put a pattern in here. We can mess with the pattern colors. So I can make this red. You can see part of it turned red. I can make all these little triangles red. I can make the background, you know, this gray color. Well, it's kind of weird on my eyes, but just wanted to show you how customizable everything is. We have background images we can choose from. So we can go with the system, we can go with Pixabay, and you can search through Pixabay through the software. You get free photos through Pixabay. So if we go to system, you can just go ahead and click on that. Oh, that color matches nicely. And so this could be something like, you know, my first video. And then if If you wanted it to stand out a little bit more, we can change this to a different color. So we can play again with the colors. So let's go ahead and just make that white. And then we can put a line around it called a stroke. Make it nice and thick and heavy like that. Maybe we can match that stroke to the background to make that look nice. We can add a shadow behind it like I showed you before. We can even make this as big as we want, so we'll make this nice and big. We can add a gradient, which basically is like two colors mixed in here to give it a nice little textured look. So if we scroll down here to gradient, well, it defaults to these kind of crazy colors, but we can go ahead and do a white one, and then maybe a black one even. You can play with how it looks there as well, so you can make it look a little bit like that. We can take the gradient off because I really don't like that now that I see it. And then we can make the inside color white again. Alright. We can add some other stuff to this. Let's go to shapes. We can add an emoji. Put that up here in this corner. Maybe tilt it a little bit, make it big. Put a shadow behind it. I don't know why, I just like shadows. There's a shadow behind that. We can play with the opacity. Oh, we got that weird background. Let's go ahead and leave the opacity up, but we could have put like that black and white opacity behind there, maybe give this an interesting look behind her. Let's go add a couple more assets just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Maybe we put one of these dialogue bubbles in here, something like that. And again, all this stuff is completely customizable, all the colors. And then we can add text over the bubble. Actually, I like just doing this and just go down here and we copy this text. I'm going fast, but I'm showing you how once you're familiar with this, how easy it is to go in here and do this sort of stuff. Let's select a different font style. We'll just make this black, and maybe we'll get rid of the stroke on this one. And we'll shrink it down, get rid of the shadow. And I'll say something like, my big secret. And then we can tilt this. I can make it so that it fits in there nicely. And again, now you could use your own image of yourself if you wanted to, and replace her with your own image. But again, I just wanted to show you how quick and easy and cool this software is. And again, you can just save it as JPEG and it downloads right